Okay guys, if you want your vocals to sound more professional, wider, deeper, cleaner and way more interesting, this video is going to change everything for you. In the next 15 to 20 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to use Ableton's most important audio effects so you can create bigger drops, cleaner mixes and stand out movement you hear in real house releases, all without the overwhelm. You don't need years of experience, just follow along what I'm doing on my screen, and by the end of this video you'll know exactly how to transform your sounds, your vocals, anything in your track with confidence. So let's actually dive into Ableton and show you how you can use some of these effects on your vocals in particular. So I'm going to start off by using the phase flanger and add that to my vocal. The main controls on here is the rate and the amount. So if I adjust that, and you can just listen.
Move your waistline to my baseline. Move your waistline to my baseline.
So I like to have the amount on full and then adjust it with the rate.
To my baseline. Move your waistline to my baseline.
Add a bit of warmth.
Move your waistline to my baseline. Move your waistline to my...
Doubler is quite cool. It changes like a certain part of it, like the pitch of it. I quite like phaser and flanger. So
move your waistline to my baseline. Move your waistline to my baseline. Move your waistline to my baseline. Move your waistline.
I think 1/4 on flanger and the amount all the way up really improves this vocal. So that's probably the setting that I'm going to have for this one. The next thing I want to show you is the echo effect. So if we add this to the vocal as well and put this on ping pong, you can hear it bouncing between your headphones or the speakers. With echo, you want to be careful. I like to bring the feedback down. Too much feedback can cause some really great atmosphere, but and bring the dry and wet down to around 20%. Then we could add a bit more feedback.
To my baseline. Move your
and then just bring it down a bit more.
Move your waistline to my baseline. Move your waistline.
We can also adjust the decay.
To my baseline. Move your waistline to my baseline.
I think on about 50% is always fine for echo. Next I want to show you is the delay. And you can have the ping pong effect on here as well. Delay and echo are quite similar.
Move your waistline to my baseline. Move your waistline to my baseline.
So delay just lets the towel go out a bit more, whereas echo will just cut off a little bit sooner. So if we, whereas delay is a little bit more intense. I prefer working with echo. And later on in some more advanced lessons, I will be showing you how to automate all of these effects as well to build tension. But for now, let me show you the reverb effect. Reverb is one of my favourite ones for vocals in particular. Now if you hear it with a bit less decay, that's more bigger room and that's a bit more subtle. The size is quite a good effect.
Move your waistline to my baseline.
And then obviously you've got the dry and wet here as well.
To my baseline. Move your waistline.
You can cut out some of the low ends or you can cut out some of the high ends in this as well.
Move your waistline to my baseline. Move your waistline.
So if we put that low cut on, it stops it clashing with the kick and bass line quite nicely. So I would keep that on. We can also add a bit of saturation. For warmth. I like soft sine or analog clips, so we can have analog clips. And this just really just thickens the sound. Saturation improves the sound, thickens the sound. It's better than just turning up the volume. It thickens it without turning it up, okay? So I like the drive on and then bringing in the dry and wet slowly. So I have the drive on and then just bring it in slowly.
Move your waistline to my baseline.
Sometimes it can be too much though.
To my baseline.
But you can just play around these toggles and really listen with your ear. You can also have it on soft clip.
Move your waistline to my baseline. Move your waistline to my baseline.
Which I prefer to work with. Next effect I want to show you is the EQ8. We're going to be getting more into this as we start mixing down our track. But it's good to see because when you play the vocal, you can visually see where it's hitting on the frequency spectrum. So if there's like a lot of lows, we do want to do, you know, quite a bit of EQ into this to make sure that the lows aren't clashing with the kick and the bass. If there's quite a lot of highs, we want to make sure it's complementing with all the high frequencies in our drums, like the hi-hats and stuff. And with EQ8, you can cut out the lows, you can cut out the highs. You can gentle boost the highs maybe for a bit more brightness, but less is more. For when we're doing the mix down and mastering stage, we just really want to sort of like dial in on our sound. So if I play this, I can change this setting down here and take out the lows, or I can increase the highs for a bit of brightness.
Move your waistline to my baseline. Move your waistline to my baseline.
I prefer taking things out rather than adding stuff. I feel like you should already have that from the sample, from the vocal, and then sort of compressing it and taking things out after you've got the thickness there works quite well. Then we've also got auto filter. So if I drop an auto filter here,
move your waistline to my baseline.
We can similarly put on a high pass filter to take out the lows, or put on a low pass filter to take out the highs. You can increase the LFO amount. And that basically brings it in and out to give it a bit more movement.
Move your waistline to my baseline. Move your waistline to my baseline.
Probably have it on a high pass and then have that low LFO amount going in there.
Move your waistline to my baseline. Move your waistline.
But listen, there is hundreds of effects that we could go through one by one. There's certainly more effects that we could cover in this video, but Ableton literally teaches you every single effect. Remember, you've got the info view in the bottom right hand corner here, and if I hover over this part, the info view is going to tell me this sets the delay time of the corresponding channel in beat divisions. And I can go over any of these toggles and Ableton's going to tell me what it does and how it works. So to save going through every single effect, which will take hours up of your time, use the ones that you like, go through them and experiment, and then just click the info view to see what it does. And remember, you can also group your effects into effect racks. So by pressing shift down, highlighting all the effects, pressing Command G, and that will group all of your effects together, where you can then get experimental with mapping some certain ones to macros so they move at the same time and so they really sort of like sing with one another. You can create really unique presets doing this and then save the effect rack, and then you know that you like all of these effects on all of your vocals. You can then save that effect rack, vocal effect rack, and then quite quickly when you've recorded vocals in, you could just drop that on your vocal. So if I go up here now, drop that effect rack on there, and boom, it's got all of the effects that we've played around with and we've perfected all in your effect racks ready to go. If this helps you, please do like and subscribe for more free videos, or if you want to work with me on a one-to-one basis where we're collab together, I'll get you signed, I'll get you gigs out in IB, for then click the link in the description to find out more. I'll see you in the next lesson.